It's your Judeo-Christians who are out there preaching the revenge and hard-on crime type policies that you see practiced by our judges, law enforcement, and attorneys. And our legislators are even getting in on the bandwagon. They all want to make themselves appear in the eyes of the public as being hard on crime. Okay, so why do these Judeo-Christians who are sitting in places of power in our government promoting this? Well, if they can appear to look hard on crime, they can build themselves a perfect utopian society free from anyone who has made mistakes in their life and committed a crime. They could build their little utopian society up and of perfect people, good people, very good people, and surround themselves with people that make them feel good about themselves, and they can just feel real good in their comfort zone, you might call it. And these fire and brimstone type preachers, they sit here they're not necessarily preachers, but they're sitting in power in government. You'll hear a lot of prosecutors and sheriffs and lawyers and judges all talk about get hard on criminals. One strike, you're out. Let's pass criminals' records out to the public to protect the public from these vile human beings who are out in our society victimizing people. However, 9 out of 10 convicted felons never recommit a crime. Of the group of people that stay out 5 years, they live in our society with wives, children, homes, jobs like everybody else, and they're not recommitting crimes. But yet the criminal justice and the hard-on crime types sit out here and they accuse convicted felons of recommitting crimes consistently. And that we need to get hard on these people. We need to pass their criminal records out so they can't get jobs and rent homes. Well, if you do this, then you want to push these people back into crime. Am I correct, Mr. Hard-on-Crime type policy? Let me get this right. You want to pass criminal records out on a person who's living an honest life, so a person will not rent to this guy, and a person will not give this guy a job. This is your intention then. No, they'll tell you we're protecting the people. These people are violent criminals. They're committing violent crimes. We need to waken the public up and let the people know to be prepared so these people don't commit violent crimes. Why are these people living in our society against these odds, living in our society honest lives, holding down jobs, taking care of their family and their homes? How are they defeating your passing out their criminal records? Well, because everybody does not run criminal background checks, and a lot of people don't care. That's why there's a lot of convicted felons who are making it in our society and doing good. This disrupts the ideology of the hard-on crime types. They cannot stand to see a convicted felon, an ex-felon, doing good in society, because it makes them look bad. Everything they believe in, being hard on crime, passing criminal records out, all this throws mud in their face. And they're faced with the issue, well, maybe me being hard on crime won't get me elected after all. Maybe me being hard on crime is going to push some of these guys into recommitting crimes. But then I guess if I'm getting elected for there being crime, I would want to do everything to encourage crime so that I could get elected by being hard on crime. So, these people who sit in high places of power and promote the being hard on crime, these people in my book are evil, conspiratorial, corrupt, power-hungry, socialist police state types. And another thing they want to do, they want to deny the ex-felon, the convicted felon, the right to own firearms. So I guess this guy now with a criminal record, anyone who wants to put a bullet in his head in his own home, rape his little daughter and wife, is fully able to do so, and it's a good thing. Aren't we eliminating criminals this way? I mean, once a criminal, always a criminal, right? Well, you want to take his guns from him, so that way another criminal will eliminate him, and then we'll feel a lot better in our little utopian society. Do you see the insanity here? Okay, why don't we go back to what Jesus said? Forgive, be slow to condemn, and give man hope and restoration. Our Constitution says the Second Amendment right to bear arms applies to all people. No compromise there. And these senators and legislators who undermine the right of convicted felons to own firearms has just shot them in the back of their head, has just taken their little children and wives and put them in a dangerous situation to be raped. And of course, I suppose we need to deal with a sex offender problem then. But anyway, these hard-on crime types, all of their whole ideology and worldview of being hard on crime is insane. And by the way, it all began in the 60s. All of this socialist police state hard on crime types stripped the felons of their rights to own firearms, passed their criminal records out. All of this came out of the 1960s civil rights era. Martin Luther King Jr. got preferential treatment for the niggers, and they began knocking white men out of jobs with the 1964 Civil Rights Act. Yes, that and the power to the woman, the feminist movement. Well, the same people that passed all these illogical acts and endorsed these illogical movements of the 60s, they're the same people that is being elected today as your public official who is protecting you and getting hard on criminals.